This is Akuda Talk Show. Here we are again to discuss issues bordering on relationships. We want to look on the topic problems between couples. We have Apostle in the house to answer our questions. Apostle, you are welcome.
Thank you.
Apostle, why should couples have problems?
Well, as human as we are, marriage is a human institution, and you see, humans, we have our weaknesses. Therefore, when we come together as couples, it may come up, as it were. And as human as we are imperfect. We aspire to be perfect. So some of these imperfections would come about as we go hand in hand, as we live in the marriage, as we become married couples. It will happen. When we have this understanding that we are human beings, therefore we ain't perfect. It is said we ain't angels. To err is human. It is there. So it may happen, it is bound to take place. We shouldn't be too surprised. I'm not saying we should expect it, but then when it happens, it shouldn't take us by surprise. We are human. The marriage setting, it's a human institution as well. Therefore, it will happen. It's bound to happen. It may happen. When it does, we should rather be prepared for it. How we manage, how we handle, how we go about it goes a long way to help us remedy the situation, provide solutions for the problem, and make the best out of it at the end of the day.
Also, why should the woman earning more than her husband bring problems?
Well, you are beginning to go into the issues. I've outlined some points, and I think that let me use this one that you've raised as major point. It tells me that hey, it is something you really want to ask. See, one of the challenge that comes about with married couples is the monetary issue, the monetary aspect of it all. And I raised this wanting to consider what you've just raised, that why should it be a problem when the woman earns more than the man, right?
Yes,
that's the question. Yes. In some cases, it becomes a problem. Now, what makes it a problem is how the woman begins to treat the husband because of what she gets as a pay. It is as a result of how the man feels because the woman is earning more. Let us look at it in a better sense of it all. When the woman is earning more than the man, because of her qualification, because of the establishment or the cooperation she finds herself in, for instance, you would realize that some women, not all, some women, by means of what they earn, what they bring to the table, what they bring home, as compared to that of the man, theirs is bigger, and for that matter, better or higher. They begin to show signs of disrespect towards the man. They are not humble as they are supposed to be. Their wifely duties, they want to relegate it to the background. They begin to shirk their responsibilities as mothers, as wives. And they will give the excuse that at the end of the day, I'm even able to bring more money. And for that matter, we use this money that I earn to solve the problems in the marriage. Therefore, but you see, the problem I have is you ain't the man. If you could develop a proper understanding with your husband based on this, based on that, then there could be a way these things could be handled. But you would realize that some women, by means of what they get, which is more than that of the man, then they begin to show signs of disrespect. They don't submit to the man. Their submission precipitates into thin air, and they want to do anything anyhow, and the man shouldn't control them. They don't want to do their wifely duties as it's supposed to be, and the excuse is because of this. There is another relating point that will come to that. With the man, for instance, where this becomes a problem is some men, they feel jittery. And at the back of their minds, because the woman is earning more, they are so uncomfortable because they feel they will not be able to control, they will not be able to have their say as it's supposed to be. The woman wouldn't be submissive as required and as expected. Therefore, they begin to draw their conclusions and create problems. The woman wouldn't be the one creating the problem, but it will be the man, where in some cases you would have the man raising issues that the woman should stop working. You know, and the relating issue that I want to add as number 2 is the fact that because of this, sometimes the role the woman plays in the job, in the establishment, in the firm, could be managerial, and as a result, or whatever position it is, she may not be able to close early and come home. I'm telling you, Akuda, this thing becomes a serious problem in the home. It's serious, and it could really be damning, because let's be honest, a mother, a wife, when you leave office at 9 and you're getting home 9:30 or 10, depending, you can imagine who serves the husband, who serves the children, who serves the home. I mean, it becomes an issue, and when some of these points are being raised, to a large extent, why not? We need to talk about it. What I propose the couple should do in this case is to sit down, discuss the issue, communicate well, have an understanding, and know how to carry the thing along. If possible, they should seek help and seek counseling over it. But I don't want a situation where, like we hear it normally happening, that it becomes a problem, and then this one will not see eye to this one. They quickly jump to conclusion. The man will say, as a result, you need to stop it. And the women also. It doesn't matter your position. You should know you're a wife. You should know you're a mother. It doesn't matter your position. I've heard the story where a judge in Nigeria, a woman, says that when she goes home, she is a wife, she is a mother, she submits to the husband, who is not a judge. She is a judge. She is a judge in the law courts, in her office. But when she gets home, she still bows and she submits as the tradition requires to her husband, because he is the head of the home. You see? So some of these problems do come about where you have all kinds of things happening. There's this other point too that I want to raise with you, Akuda. For instance, you have situations where they are in the marital home now, but damning secrets are now exposed. It becomes a problem among the couples. Damning secrets, I mean, issues that were kept because they are damning, because they are bad. You know, some of these things, when the partner knows it, it could have informed the decision, and for that matter, the judgment, whether to say yes or no, whether to go ahead to accept the proposal or not, whether to go ahead and say, this is what I want, I have found the real deal, I am in love, and what have you. These secrets are kept. Some women keep the secrets of their children they've had out of wedlock. Some are born 1, born 2, born 3. They will keep it away, keep the children with somebody in the village, outskirts, and they act as though they've never given birth before. Some have 3, they will pretend it's only 1. Some have done, unfortunately, lots of abortions, and their womb had been taken out. They wouldn't come and say it. Some, by doctor's report, are declared barren. They wouldn't come to say it. Some know for a fact that they have certain issues, maybe bloodline issues, curses, negative covenants, some weaknesses. I mean, it could be anything. They will hide it. There could be more. We cannot know or say everything. And it is kept. The gentleman, the woman in question would have agreed. He or she had found out. But in the marital home, then some of these damning secrets comes out, are exposed. You can just imagine. So, you knew this, and you didn't tell me. You knew this. This was there. Why didn't you expose it? Then the excuses come in. I know if I make you aware this or that, it becomes a problem. You can imagine the other party, how he or she is going to feel from that very moment the secret is exposed to him or her. There's one that I would want to add, this damning secret. Some, we've heard stories around where when the DNA, the test is conducted, then the man gets to know the children are not his.
Apostle, couldn't love erase all this?
Love could.
Because we've been told love covers multitude of sins.
Yes, love does. But you see, let's be very honest with ourselves. We don't just expect that in the name of love, we wouldn't get it right with some of the things we do. Now, we use the word damning secrets. Can you just imagine that in the name of love, therefore, DNA has proven that the kids are not mine? Who are they for? So, the man has been fooled over the years. So, I mean, it's really damning. It's really disheartening. It becomes a problem. We've heard where this thing alone had broken various homes. I mean, it has. How many a man who accept this and say that, oh, well, let me let go, no problem, I'll take them as mine. Because even in the future, the real father comes to claim ownership of the children. It becomes a problem. You see, that there is this other problem also, problem of childbirth. I'm bringing it in relation. Problem of childbirth, it creates serious problems with the couple. Some, it is the man who has the problem. He is either sterile, he has low sperm count, and what have you. The wife will try to cover, but there will be pressure from the family, from friends, from society, wanting to know why, wanting to see you are giving birth and the likes. Some, it is the challenge of the woman. For strange reasons, she's barren. For strange reasons, she cannot give birth and the likes. It becomes a problem. Some, they go to the hospital and what they are told is that the two of you have no problem. So why is it not coming? That is just one aspect. It begins to create all kinds of problems. In fact, you have issues where the man's family people will now come and be putting all kinds of pressures on the woman, whereas the woman, knowing the problem is from the man, still keeps quiet, covering the man. It's unfortunate. I mean, it's serious. It's very serious. Imagine a man cannot perform. He cannot perform. He wouldn't get his erection and let alone ejaculate. The erection is not there.
So why did he marry them? He shouldn't have married them.
Those are part of the damning secrets that will come out, because we've heard stories about women who get married and in no time they come back and say they can't stand it anymore, because one, the man can't gain any erection, therefore no ejaculation, no sexual satisfaction there. Another is that you have a man's penis which is so small.
So why did he go ahead to
So
marry
small
that
and
person?
tiny, it erect and it looks like that of a baby.
Why would you go worry
That
someone
of
like
a little kid. You can imagine. Unfortunately, he kept this thing, and it wasn't exposed. Now it is exposed. What is the woman going to do? There are some women, may God have mercy. You have this issue of even sex. Okay, you let me finish that of the childbirth. Some, they are able to give birth. Men love to have sons. And all that comes is girls, girls, girls.
Isn't it
girls.
because the man gave the woman?
Well,
girls
yet it becomes a problem. I need a boy. I need a boy. It's not the woman who gives you the boy. It is what you give to her that she only incubated and brought it out. Yet it becomes a problem. So we need to teach some of these things for men to know and understand that you produce X and Y chromosomes. You see, so what you put in there, when it is X and Y, you get a boy. When it is XX, it's going to be a girl. So you don't blame the woman that she's not giving you a boy. It is what you gave her. She only incubated and brought it out at the point of maturity. You see, some women, another point that I want to reiterate is that they have sexual issues. And they wouldn't communicate it. They are so indifferent, they will not even learn. Some are sexually active. I mean, let's on both sides. But you have the other partner so dull, so uneventful, would have taken everything for granted. Every day it got to be missionary style. There are some men who do not know any other style apart from missionary. There are some women who do not know any other style apart from missionary, to the extent that you are going to get a woman who will tell a man, okay, come and do it. Come and do what? What do you mean by come and do it? I mean, it's unfortunate. Come and do it, and you just lie there like a log. You are not participating, you are not involved, you are not active, and it gets to a point in time, it becomes a serious problem. There are some men who are just not romantic. Oh God, they are just not romantic. All they know is that they have erection. They must find somewhere which has been ordained for them to push into, and then they ejaculate 1 minute man, 2 minutes man, and then that will just be it. The wife is not satisfied. You keep the woman dry, and then you are coming to penetrate. How? You're going to get her injured. She's going to get cut. And when she goes, you see, it gets to a point, the woman doesn't even enjoy what is happening. Because you need to make the woman feel herself as a woman. There are things in the woman that must be brought out for her to feel, you've made her feel a natural woman and the likes. Nobody will make her feel that. It is you. But when you're not romantic enough, and there are some women too, they themselves are not romantic enough. They don't know how to express how they are feeling, whether they are enjoying it. They are just there, just quiet, just dumb, and the rest like that. And it doesn't even give the man that inspiration to continue. You see, men, we are such that when we hear some of these things, it gives us the vim. The vim, I mean, to push on. When it is not like that, it becomes a challenge.
Apostle, if it is not like that, teach your wife.
Some are not teachable. Unfortunately, some are teachable, some are not teachable. It doesn't matter what you do. They are like, see, there are some women who are sexually active, they know to do things, but men draw conclusions and say, you are spoiled. What said? You are, what is this? Where did you learn this thing from? What is all this? And the rest like that. You get people who are, they how should I even put it? I mean, they are like, some Christians do that. Some Christians do that. Some, by means of their nature and where they are coming from, these things are strange. Some even see demonic.
Yeah.
They see sexual styles as demonic and stuff like that. I don't know. How can you have a spouse and you cannot? it's unfortunate. Let me not spend.
Apostle, we'll make much time on that one when we get to relationship.
Mm.
Apostle, want to know, is it okay to still be in love with your ex?
That is also another challenge. I was going to make mention of it as we go along. Many people get married only to realize that they still have love for the ex. It becomes a problem. Well, naturally put, I mean, for various reasons. Let me enumerate 2 or 3. That some are in love with their ex, but under strange and bizarre circumstances, they broke up. 1, lack of communication. They weren't seeing each other, made them to break up. Because I'm not seeing you, you are not seeing me, they end up breaking up. 2, the communication also broke down as a result of not seeing each other. The proximity, that space created between them made the breakup to come in. This one wants to move on, that one has moved on, because for the past months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, we've lost contact. Therefore, let me move on. Now, he or she moves on not because he is no more in love with the ex. That is just one aspect of it all. The other aspect where a family will say, we disapprove of this individual. So it's not that you didn't want to, but your family put pressure on you to say no or not to go in for the person you truly love. And then you go in for that which you do not love, but maybe because of your aging, because of pressure, time, this, that, you enter into it only to still realize that you have love for your ex. And also, you see, you get into the relationship and what you expect is not met. It makes you miss your ex. Okay. How your ex treats you, how your ex handles you, how your ex makes you feel, and the likes. It makes you begin to miss him. That's how it starts. You miss him, you have those things in your memory, you do the recollection of it. It makes you begin to, it happens. Unfortunately, it happens. And that is the reality on the ground. Many relationships are suffering this because the married couples are in there, but then they still have love for their ex.
Apostle, I wouldn't want to go into details on that one, but I want to know, we've been told that before you get married, you have to go make peace, or you have to go break up with your ex before you come back and marry.
Which one is breaking the relationship well? What is that?
You need to go get an understanding.
Which understanding?
So there's nothing like that?
No, which understanding? You see, sometimes we deceive ourselves with some of these things.
Also, we've been told you have to go and then make peace before you get married.
I'm not against it. I'm only asking questions that go make peace. Which peace? See, they can pay my word. I mean, if you know it is not good, just say it that it's not working. I got to move on. It's not working. That is enough. I have heard stories about people travel or go to meet their I mean, they wanted to just call it quits and they only want to reignite. So which is only for them to, and then later it still becomes a problem. Listen, if you know it's not good, the point is not with your partner, it's you. You need to convince yourself beyond all reasonable doubt that this is not working, I don't want it, so I don't want to be involved anymore. It is you, it's not your partner. But if you go making it look like I'm going to seek a redress, then go solve the problem if there is. If it is not solvable, you pack back a baggage, walk out as someone who is convinced that I don't want this, so I'm not going nearer to it. The problem is, we don't want it, we think we don't want it, and yet we play around it. we go around it, we show interest in, we want to participate. Okay, we are friends. I don't have a problem with you being friends, you being good with him or her. You need to show consent. I don't have a problem with that. But you should just know that you don't play with water and you will not get wet. You don't play with fire and you will not get burnt. You should just know this. I mean, you play with charcoal, you know. You play with the dust, you know. I mean, these things you should just know. So that when it happens, you shouldn't come cry foul. You should just know. I mean, that is what it is. So breaking well is for you to convince yourself beyond all reasonable doubt that no, I'm not for this. I don't want it. I'm moving out. I'm moving on. That cuts it. Let me quickly add this thing that there are some people that after they have married, you wouldn't believe this, but it's true. After they are married, they now find true love outside.
Why? The one you are married to, is that one not your true love?
In life, when the reality check, we'll come to that later. You see, people marry for all kinds of reasons. That's what the problem is. Some marry because they are aging. Some marry because of money. Some marry because there's pressure on them. Some marry because the pastor put them together. They feel shy and they only have to say yes. Some marry because of some opportunities, and some marry because it is gratitude to the family over something that had been done for them. So they use the man or the woman to do the payment or the appreciation. All kinds of reasons. Some marry because he is a fine boy. Some marry because she is just beautiful, and the rest like that. And then they go in. They go in not because of love. They go in because of all kinds of things around. Only for them to be in and realize that, no, it seems it has to be this guy. It has to be this girl, because the telepathy between me and her, between me and him, himself, myself, herself, it begins to work out, and strangely, you see, sometimes we marry out of desperation, out of frustration, only for us, when we are committed legally, we now find the fellow we were truly waiting for. Unfortunately, wow. It happens. Many a marriage today is going through these things, and they will be having their problems silently, because the one person is like, now I am tolerating you. I have found Mr. Right, or I have found Miss Right somewhere. It happens. Unfortunately, that is a reality. You see, and also let us consider this thing, that when reality hits you in life, it's a different movie. You see the way I'm talking about it? Because reality is such that you wouldn't believe it. It comes subtly, and it hits you very hard. I don't know which point I want to raise on this matter, but reality is reality. We've talked about love covers multitude of sins from scripture. We've understood the point that many say love is blind. Love is blind, really? Yes, it has a time period, because the eyes of love are always open. See, love is blind doesn't mean it can't see or it doesn't see. It has only been closed. But reality opens it.
Apostle, we'll delve deep into that one when we come to what.
Okay, do you know that many people enter into marriage as a result of love pushings for boys, for girls, for men?
Is that thing? Is it true?
A day.
Apostle, is it true?
A day, love pushings, joke with it. And you will find yourself chasing after that, which when the reality check comes in and the scales fall off your eyes, you begin to see clearly, and you're like, what? Really? How possible? How possible? That is what it is at the end of the day. So these things bring all kinds of challenges, difficulties, problems in the marital home. It's problematic. There are more points we can raise. I mean, we can raise it. Sometimes it's even the parents who create the problem for the couples. Sometimes it is the friends who create the problems for the couples. Sometimes that is what it is. I mean, all kinds of things, and let's not discount the fact that marriages suffer all kinds of attacks, spiritual.
Because it looks like our time is almost up, but our last question would be: do you believe every marriage couple has a weakness?
Oh yes, I believe so, because we are human. I mean, I believe it. It must be worked on. We need to understand each other. Let the husband use his strength to help support, to help even overcome the weakness of the wife. And let the woman also use her strength to help overcome the weaknesses of the husband. When we do this, as married couples, I bet you, the challenges will come, but they shall overcome.
Apostle, what's your last advice that you give?
Let us have a better understanding before we enter into marriage. Let us seek proper counseling before we enter into marriage. And when we do, let us be open-minded, have better understanding, communicate well, and it shall be well. Not easy, but as well.
All too soon, our time is up. We shall be here again next week to answer most questions for you. Until then, I am Akuda. Let's get talking.